Good morning to my blocks 1 and my blocks 2. Obviously, we're not here today, or I wouldn't be making this video, even though we are here today, and you're going to see a bunch of us. I just wanted to start this off. Have an amazing day. I know that we're not here, and I know it's our last month together, and it makes me sad, but like I said, we are going to be in the classrooms a bunch today talking to you about track and field day and talking to you about moments with moms tomorrow, so you are probably going to see all of us at different times, making sure that you have everything ready to go for tomorrow and that you're prepared. That being said, after the field trip that we had on Tuesday, I have an ultimate trust in you guys to be amazing today. And please make sure, those of you that are watching this in language arts, please make sure when you go outside to recess that those of you that tend to have problems at recess without us here don't have problems. You know who you are. You know who you are. So please make sure that you're focused and you have a great, fun time outside and that you're focused here in class. In language arts, our total focus today is on our When I Grow Up books. We have a lot of work to do on these, and I want these done and at the very least at some point next week so that we can have the parents sew them up so they're not scrambling at the end of the year to do it. These have to be amazing and perfect. If you think back to yesterday with Mr. Hutch and what he was doing just with the silhouettes, the same thing goes for these. If it's trash, we're going to treat it as such. You guys are amazing writers. Expect the best out of yourselves because what you expect is the best is probably higher level than even I expect. I want these awesome, indented, everything that it needs, all the parts, and I'm going to talk about those parts in a second. You need to do your rough drafts. I'm not going to be here to check them. If you want to ask the sub to look them over, you're welcome to. But please remember a few things about this. 1, check spelling on words you don't know. Use your iPads to do that. That's the only reason we're going to be using our iPads. That's 1. 2, you need to finish the rough draft. You need to have it indented. You need to have all of the parts. And remember those parts. Catchy beginner, topic, sentence, detail, 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 concluding sentence. And remember, those 3 details aren't necessarily 3 sentences because you need support with those details. Okay? For example, if you tell me that your hobby is golf, then you need to tell me why you like it so much or something like that. Something to give it a little more body. So these are going to be fairly long. All right, and don't forget, you should be planning out illustrations. And I'm not going to illustrate today. I am going to write a paragraph and put it in this video. Okay, so writing your rough draft today, you have to do all of the things that you've been doing all year. And the only reason why I'm making this video is because as I was watching you guys work on your rough drafts a couple of days ago, I noticed that you weren't doing a lot of these things. I am going to be checking this. This is a big part of your grade, so please, please, please make sure that you're doing it. And I apologize about the shadows. It's really light outside. I should close the shades, but such is life. 2 fingers so that we can indent. Hopefully that popped into your head. Make sure you put your little X here. I want to see that just so you have that reminder. You need to indent. You have to absolutely positively indent. Then the first thing you need to make sure that you do, and you don't have to write this down, I'm just writing it down for you, is you need your catchy beginner. Obviously with a catchy beginner, it can be a bunch of different things. I'm going to say all of those things right now. So your catchy beginners, you need, they can be anything, interesting fact. They can be a quote, they can be dialogue, it can be action, it can be a question as long as it's not a yes or no question. You have to make it good and it has to connect, all right? I'm going to do hobbies. And I'm going to jot some notes for my hobbies. I like to play golf. And I would do this too, just so you can have it here. I like to write, obviously, and I don't get paid for it anymore, so I can call it a hobby. Absolutely, positively, I love to run. I love to read. I love to play baseball. I can go on and on. Vlog, podcast. I'm not going to use all these things, obviously. I'm going to use 3, but you want to make sure that you have a good amount so that you're ready to go, okay? So, here we go. My catchy beginner. I'm gonna use, I think, a dialogue. 4. I yelled to the golfers ahead of me as my ball sailed through the air towards their golf cart. Catchy beginner. I actually used some action and I used a little bit of dialogue. Now that's not really dialogue because I'm not talking to anybody, but I am using a quotation mark and I'm yelling the word for, okay? Now my topic sentence. I'm gonna just focus on one hobby and give 3 details about it. I'm choosing that because I can talk a lot about golf and about why it's my favorite hobby. So I'm just gonna focus on one. You can choose 3 different ones. It does make it a little trickier, but it does give you easy content, okay? My favorite hobby is playing golf. That's simple. You just tell me what you're writing about. That is your topic sentence. Now, you can jazz it up, but you have to be careful. Okay? Now, I need 3 details or more. I have golfed, and you have to make sure that it connects to this topic sentence. I've golfed for over, gosh, this is scary, 40 years. So that's one detail, and I'm going to add a second detail to connect to that. The first time I golfed, I'm not going to say golf. The first time I hit a golf ball, I was only 6 years old. So that's really detail 1. 2 sentences, D1, okay? Now, I'm gonna need to add some transition. Another reason I love golf is because you can play by yourself. You can play this sport by yourself. I love challenging myself. And again, I'm going to add a second detail. This is D2, but I'm going to add a second detail to that second detail because I need more. I love challenging myself. You can see I'm not worrying too much about word choice. My word choice is pretty good, but I'm going to go back there when I write my final copy. I love challenging myself at a sport. And I'll probably want to change that word because I use sport here. Challenge myself at a sport that is both mental and physical. and it doesn't depend on other people playing. So all other sports, not all other sports, guys, but you know, golf is that kind of sport where if you don't have any friends around to play, you just grab a golf ball and golf club and go out and hit some golf balls. You don't need anyone else, although it's fun to play with other players. And it doesn't depend on other people to go out and play. Okay, that's my second detail. Finally, another transition word. Make sure you have those. Finally, golf is a sport you can play for life. I've played with my grandpa. My dad. I capitalize that because it's my dad. And my son, James. There aren't many sports and again, another detail, this is D3. That allow for generations to play at the same time. I mean, you play football, you can't have, you know, like a 75-year-old person playing football. Well, you could, but it's not the same. Golf, we were all on a golf course together and playing the same exact game. And now to tie it all in with when I grow up. When I grow up, golf will be my favorite hobby. All I'm doing is restating that topic sentence. Okay? I love maybe putting when I grow up as your start to every conclusion. It kind of gives you an easy, out to getting that concluding sentence. So you can see, I have my catchy beginner, 1. I have my topic sentence, 2. Detail 1, 3. Detail 2, 4. Detail 3, 5. Including sentence 6. You have to have every single part. 3 different details, a topic sentence that tells me what, a concluding sentence that tells me what, they connect, and then that catchy beginner that hooks mom and dad when they get this book, or whoever you're gonna give it to. Okay? That's it. You should do amazing at this. I will be checking. You'll be number 1. For peace. Oh, but the illustrations, remember, this front cover needs no white space. And you might be able to sell me on just this inside this sort of rectangle. Why isn't this a rectangle, by the way? It does have 4 sides. There's something about it that makes it not a rectangle. If you tell me on a sticky note, or if you come and tell me when you see me today, I'll give you some money for that, okay? Remember, make sure you have your name on it. Highly suggest once you put your name on it to maybe go over it with pen and then erase the pencil underneath it, just because you want that to stand out, pop, okay? And just, you know, when you get into these books, and I am going to go over this in a second. When you get into these books, you have your illustration part here. I've had kids do stuff on the sides and the bottom. You know, such is life. You make it look as good as you can, okay? That's about it. I don't want any iPad time. When you come in from transitioning, please make sure you put your iPads away. Obviously, you've watched this by then, so you probably will have, but I don't want this to turn into a thing. You can take little mini breaks of 5 minutes to 10 minutes to pull out a book and read. I'm not giving you new chapters yet. We will finish all of our novels and hopefully get into another one, but I don't want you pulling out some iPad time and then telling the sub, oh, Mr. Pete said we could have iPad. It's in your plan, so you don't have iPad time today, okay? Obviously, you have your normal transitioning and stuff like that. Please make sure this day is fantastic and understand that we do have a lot of trust in you as you guys are getting ready to head off to middle school, all right? Looking forward to tomorrow, track and field day. Edinburgh will be there with us. It's always a lot of fun to do stuff together with them. And, you know, then we're off to our field trip week next week where we have 4 days of field trips. All right? Have a great day. See you soon.